Welcome back to the show. Our technical man's away in Portugal at the moment.
We got a replacement technical man. The Grand Wizard, baby.
Oh, dear.
He's in the house, no doubt.
Give thanks.
Yes, we've got Elemental s-ence in the house. Well, not exactly in the house, but we're going to be Skyping it through very shortly. I'm going to leave with Zara and Roslyn Blue to have a short discussion whilst I
Okay.
try to bring you in. Okay.
So Zara, what is your idea of the divine feminine then? Because is this like a new subject for you?
Yes, it is. All right. It's a lot.
Okay. So what do you feel right now is the divine feminine?
Isn't it supposed to be something like a female power that rules the world, like in ancient times? Can you explain?
You
to
could
me
possibly
what-
say my understanding of it. I might be wrong. But basically, it's like within women and men,
Yeah.
we have masculine energy and feminine
Mhm.
energy. Now, women give off a feminine energy that men can't,
Mhm.
and men give off a masculine energy that women can't.
Mhm.
So that's why women and men, they're basically yin and yang. They complement each other.
Mhm.
But within a female, there is masculine energy and feminine energy. So like, but unfortunately in the world today, there is a lot of negative masculine energy that is running the world.
Mhm.
Negative.
Mhm.
Because remember, there's also negative feminine energy. Now, what we need to do in order to get the balance
Mhm.
is tap into that divine feminine.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping that elemental essence will give us more of an understanding of what the divine feminine is.
Mhm.
So that's just my explanation, my simple
Okay.
explanation of it.
So, yeah, you've given me the explanation, and then she'll tell us more of what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So what are your like? All right. What's masculine energy to you, then?
Masculine energy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's sort of strength and power and just aggression. That's
Okay.
masculine energy. That's how the world paints it anyway.
Okay.
It's kind of like the power to grab anything you want by force. That's
Mhm.
masculine energy, the way that the media portrays it anyway.
Okay.
And feminine energy, the way the media portrays it is, it's weak, it's vulnerable, it's innocent, it's...
In a sense, there is in feminine, within that feminine energy, there is that vulnerability, which is actually a positive thing if utilized correctly. But a lot of men have taken advantage of that vulnerability within women. So, but it can be a good thing. There's also that nurturing. Also, feminine energy is actually getting creative, being creative. It's not
Being able to
necessarily,
adapt as
yeah,
well,
it's not necessarily women who are creative though. Like men can tap into that energy as well.
But women have both and they can balance it, but men tend to have really strong masculine and a bit of femininity.
Okay,
Is that what you mean?
possibly. I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of men are becoming very like. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about feminine energy now. I'm just talking about men are becoming very feminine nowadays. But that's another topic that we can talk about on a later show, if if it comes to it.
Is it to do with like tapping into the subconscious and divine feminine or feminine?
Shall we find out from Elemental
Yeah.
Essence?
Can we please?
Because like yourself, I'm here to learn too.
Oh,
Today.
okay. It's the first time for everything.
No, I mean we've had a previous show on this, which you should check out, which I will give the links at the end. But and Elemental Essence was supposed to come on that show last time, isn't it? On the previous show that we did about Divine Feminine. I was in Cyprus at the time. Anyway.
He's lost.
Yeah, brother who is lost. So like,
What other questions do you want to ask?
huh?
We're going to ask her a bunch of questions to see what... I have a lot of questions to ask her anyway.
Like what?
When she talks about it, then I'll find questions to ask.
Okay.
How can you... Is it something that can be, like, counted? Not counted, do you know what I mean? Like divine femininity, is it something that you can see in a woman, or is it something that, what is it?
I think it's something that we can all tap into, and we all have. It's just knowledge of actually knowing that we have it. That's the only way I can put it, really. But we'll have to
See what she says.
yeah. I think we're having a few difficulties. I think she needs to come online. Oh, we're calling her now.
Hello.
Hotep sister, how you doing?
Hotep.
Hi, how you doing? Hello.
Good, thank you. Good,
Good
thank you.
evening. Greetings.
Greetings. From sunny London, yes. Elemental essence.
Snowy London.
Sunny.
Snowy, no sun down here. Well, snow and sun.
Snow and sun. Okay.
Okay.
Has it been snowing down there today as well then?
A mixture of the elements, you know.
Wow. Okay. Yes, it's mid-March, and you'd expect it to not be snowing, really, eh?
Yeah, but the weather's changing, the climate's changing, the planet's changing, we're changing, evolution's taking place.
That's right. And we just got to go with the flow, I guess, even though it's cold. And I've caught a cold because of it.
Yeah. We don't want to be complaining now. Don't
Okay.
Yes. Tell him elemental essence. Tell him.
I'll try that too, anyway. so tonight we have elemental essence with us from Soul Guidance. I'd like, if you'd like to tell the audience a bit about yourself, elemental, please.
Sorry, just 1 second. I'm just trying to post the link to the page so people can get online. Give me just 1 minute.
Okay,
No problem. Well, Elemental, we've got Zara and Rosalind Bloom, my co-hosts, with us tonight.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Elemental. I'm sure we've got loads of questions for you tonight, but could you just explain a little bit about what Soul Guidance is about and about yourself as well?
Okay. Last year I was guided to set up a page to impact and basically just to spiritually help people about what's going on at the moment and just uplifting information. And I started last year, July the 9th it was, and I was given the name. All of these things were kind of channeled to me. I went and set it up. I didn't quite know what to expect. All of these things were kind of channeled to me. I went and set it up. I didn't quite know what to expect. Oh gosh, I'm hearing myself. Hold on a second.
I think you need to turn off your radio, turn off your broadcast.
Yeah, sorry, I've just done that.
Okay.
Yeah, back now. So I didn't know quite what to expect, and then I was just posting information that resonated with me, what I was feeling, what I was on, and then all of a sudden, 6-7 months later, I've now got a page with 40,000 people, and it took effort from me, and along that journey was part of me into the Divine Feminine. I've got another page called Divine Feminine on the Rise, which is really about that journey and educating people about the Divine Feminine. But that's where the kind of the whole kind of happened to me, so to speak. But I have been on a spiritual journey and on the spiritual path for since childhood. I'm just now kind of honing into those powers and into the Divine Feminine and out there helping people and teaching people, really.
Okay, brilliant.
How did it all start then with yourself?
How did what start in specific?
The journey.
Several things happened.
The journey, how did it start?
The Divine Feminine journey or the
Divine Feminine journey?
It started last year. I had a moment of the illusions being shattered. And what it was to me, I always thought that I was spiritual, conscious. I've been self-developed for many, many years. I thought everything in my world as you do. And one day I went to have a reading done, and I hadn't had a reading done for some time because I kind of stayed away from all the spiritual extremists. But I wasn't even apprehensive. What I was doing was actually going to check her out for a friend. I wasn't even going for myself. And basically what happened was that day is my whole world as I knew it got turned inside out. so to speak. And the fabric of what existed before was just shattered in front of me, and I just had to rebuild everything. And that was my first connection and my first knowing of this divine feminine, because what I was being told was that I needed to connect to this energy and that I had a journey, etc., 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 which then set me off to investigate this divine feminine and what it was, and what it meant, and what is it to me, and so on and so forth. So I set up the other page, which is Divine Feminine on the Rise, to, as I was learning, I could also pass on what I was learning to help to educate others about what this whole journey is. I mean, that was a good 4, 5, 6 months ago now. Since then, I've been to Uganda. I've been to the Moon Mountains. I've done my Sacred Feminine initiation. I've moved on so far, much further from where that point was now. And now what I'm actually going to be doing is holding sacred circles for women to help them heal and stuff. But the beginning was about 6 months ago, and it was a combination of my life being totally ripped and having to rebuild it again, and then the whole, this is the divine feminine and this is who you are. So if there's anything, details, that your questions or whatever, I mean, I'm happy to relay any information you want.
Okay, so Elemental, what does the divine feminine actually mean to you?
What does it mean? Okay, one of the names that one of the names that is being used for the type of the energy, names the type of energy that you need to connect to what is happening right now in ascension, and what the planet's going through in terms of the age of Aquarius, ascension, however you want to label it. But the divine feminine is just one of the names that they're using for the energy that we need to connect to at this point in time that's happening to the planet. So that's what it is. For me, but the nature of that energy, obviously by its name, by its principle, is very feminine.
Okay, so do you feel like right now in the world there's not enough divine feminine energy out there?
I don't feel that there's not enough of it. There's an imbalance of it, which is created way before on how we have been from, the society has educated us to be more masculine, to create through action, to, everything's got to be, once something done, we've got to move and lift our hands, so to speak, to make it happen. This is all very masculine powered action, and that's how society has cultured us to be. So it is out there, but it's not in a case of where we can't sit and re-educate ourselves, but it's just re-educating about the feminine principles and coming out of the masculine ways and the right brain action and more into the left brain, basically.
Okay. I think there's a bit of feedback going on there. Anyway, do you have another question?
I don't know, it looks like the stream's gone down again, I'm not sure, but that's what I'm seeing on my screen.
Okay, Elemental, I think we're having a few technical difficulties. What we're going to do, we're going to go to a short break, and then we're going to call you back in.
Alright, cool, no problem.
Okay.
Just wanted to be pretty like a model or an actress, but she had to work with her 2 kids. Father in jail, serving time for 2 bids. Kids hungry, asking mama where the food is, and she could see their heart beating through their 2 ribs. Now she crying watching Cribs, cause the rent's due soon in the 1 bedroom. And the kids kicking mama like I need some leg room. Daddy gone, the babies might as well be test tubes, and the project stuck, wishing they could just move to the country. I see it time to time trying to make a little money. That makes me realize shit, my life ain't that crummy. So one day I asked her how she deals with it. She said she doesn't, she lets God, so she can fly. Reach high and go, it's your love song. Release your soul, 'cause you know you can fly. Reach high and go, it's your love song. Release your soul, 'cause you know you can fly. He said he had a problem with commitment, and it was probably cause his pops was in the pimping. As a kid, he called different women mama, so he grew up in some drama that he never could get out of. He was 18, already hated life, so he played streets. He could ball, but he ditched every day it seems. And his grades were so bad, he never made the team. So he started slinging trees and he moved to coke. College coaches always noticed that the kid was dope, but he smoked too much, dropped out of school and shit, he didn't go too much. So one day he overdosed, sniffing coke and such. I think about him time to time, and I realize how similar my past is, but how different my path is. One day I asked his dad how he deals with it. He said it doesn't. He gets high so he can fly. high and gold. Wish your love star. Wish your soul. 'Cause you know you can fly. Fly through front, reach high and gold. Get your ticket back and shit on the star. Hands on your rock, catch you in the show. Usually makes music just to let it out. He asked his mom about it and she told him pray to God. She didn't notice that the faith was faded from his mind. He tries to ignore the stress that he endures, trying to find some liberation, but the pain is indoors. He feeling sore since the bills started coming and his stomach started rumbling. Pops calls it growing pains. Asks his friends about it, but they don't know the pain. They just tell him roll a blunt, try to smoke some hay. So he gets high, hoping it'll go away, but it doesn't. Shit is stuck in his head. Goes to sleep and the grief crawls up in his bed. Start tripping out, thinking he should fuck with some meds. Then remember what his grandpa said when he was young. So he looked to the sky, asking God how come. I feel his pain time to time when I look in the mirror. And I realize that God's me trying to see clearer. So tell God I hear him and I know how to deal with it. Close my eyes till I find my spirit and just fly. Reach high and go. Wish your love star. Wish your soul. You know you can fly. Fly through friend. Reach high and go. Get your ticket back and shit. Let's roll. And don't worry, I catch you in the fall. To the glow. You know you can fly. Fly through friend. Reach high and go. Get your ticket back and shit. Let's roll. And don't worry, I catch you in the fall. To the glow. You know you can fly. Fly. Reach high and go. Wish your love star. Wish your soul. You know you can fly. Fly through friendly skies. Get your ticket back and shit. Let's roll.
Welcome back to the show. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're going to call Elemental Essence back in.
Hi sis, how you doing? Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Damn stupid modern technology, innit?
Technician for you.
Gosh, man. Oh dear. Yeah, my technician's in Portugal, isn't it? He went on his holidays and he's left all the novices to deal with all this technical stuff. My gosh. Well, I think we've done okay, actually.
Yeah, we've done all right. Yeah, considering that we're not really technical people. You know, I'm more focused on learning about what the divine feminine is.
Most definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So here you guys been having a nice discussion about the actual divine feminine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you said that there's a lot of imbalances in the world in terms of the divine feminine, but also on the sacred masculine side. But obviously today's discussion is on the feminine aspect. Mm. Now, we know the energies which are coming in are of that ilk, but in order for people to harness this energy, what are the sort of things should they be doing?
The best way to kind of explain to access this energy, for people who are already spiritual, already conscious, this is just a deeper level of introspection within yourself. It's going to a deeper layer within yourself and unpeeling all of the crap that you picked up along life, the past stuff that you're holding. It's shedding all of the layers basically and getting to the real core of you, which is totality is divine pure love. And this is what the balance is, and the only way that we can really get to that is by keeping spiritual practices, meditation, journaling, these kinds of things, and just going deeper and deeper, because spiritually we're all equal.
Yeah.
Spiritually there's no difference between you and I. The only thing that sets us apart is the fact that I may be more passionate about something or more experienced in something just because I've used it, and that's what just makes us different, because I may be more interested in and you may be more interested in clairvoyancy, and that's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But spiritually, we're all equal. So there's nobody, you can't go to anybody and say, oh, do you know what, I need you to help me, I need some sort of divine feminine energy. No, we all have it, we all have access to it, and the way to get to that is through, through your introspection, through your journaling, and through deep meditation. And I mean really, really deep meditation. You've got to get down to the core of yourself in your silent meditation and break through the layers and hear what your ancestors, your guides, your angels, whoever have got to say to you. And I've had people asking me, what is the sacred feminine initiation? How do I do it? What is it? The sacred feminine initiation is so sacred that only you and the divine know about it. Okay, I've had a lot of people ask me, a lot of people that I give guidance calls and I teach to, they all want to know what is the initiation, and the initiation is very, very sacred, that only you and the divine know about it, and you're only going to get it deep levels of action and meditation and journaling and channeling the energy that you've got to, and you will get it. But that's why you've got to be committed to the journey. You've got to be committed to yourself, and you've got to be committed to want to become this free expression of love that you are, and you will open up all of these different avenues that you have available to you.
Okay, brilliant. And then another question I want to ask is, what sort of aspects can you list that is involved in the divine feminine energy? Because I know that creativity comes from feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
So what else?
So what other aspects of manifestation, intuition?
Yeah.
These are things that we can create through manifestation, and we also use our intuition powers to make things happen for us in our lives. And these are aspects of ourselves which have become very weak over the years. And now it's time for these things getting stronger, and we need to strengthen those sides of the abilities on the left side, which is the manifestation, the intuition, the creativity, and start being more expressions of love that we really are, really. Yeah. And sometimes it's it's a difficult choice for some people. It's whether they go to work Monday to Friday, and because they have to, they've got a mortgage to pay and they've got children to look after, etc., or do they sit at home and meditate? And this is a split that's becoming amongst people now as well, because they want to be more in tune to themselves, but they're realising that society has done nothing but to drag them away from themselves. But then they're caught in the trap because they. So it's very interesting to see how this is actually being played out in society at the moment.
Yeah.
The types of things that we need to be tapping in is basically the basis of a lot of the divine feminine energy is just intuition. And if you listen to your intuition, it will give you the creativity that you need to be dealing with. It will give you the manifestation that you need to be dealing with. But you just need to listen to yourself.
Okay. And this is not just something for the females to tap into, it's something for that the males need to tap into too as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the males have become overly masculine, and obviously there's an imbalancement within them also.
Yeah.
And not that they need to stop being masculine and stop creating through action, etc., but just to become more softer and more and more gentle in their nature, instead of being that hardened, aggressive male that society has also driven into them, that they need to be the hunter-gatherer, the provider, which to certain elements that they do have to, that is their role, but also, to be more gentle with that. It's not as hard as we've been driven to it is through society and education.
Yeah, of course. Because right now, I find in the world today, it's like really run on negative masculine energy.
It is. When you look at the structures of how the government, etc., yes, it's all masculine dominated energies. There are not female principles in there. Trust me, the world would be a better place if it was run by women, but I'm sure you all agree.
I'm not sure.
Maybe not always the case if it was completely run by women.
Yeah.
It still needs to have a balance though, because you need to get the creativity from a woman, and then whatever men offer.
If we look back to how things were when we were in tribal times, and times before that, there was a lot of women who were they reigned kingdoms. People like Bastet, she reigned the whole and had her religion, females were quite strong in their character. There's not of them around at the moment. We have become so dominated by the male that there is. Who can you say as a female how they, apart from the queen, who else has a position up there that is the female?
Yeah. Well, no offence, but the queen isn't exactly the best example of the divine feminine.
So it was the only one I could think. Short of that, there isn't that many examples at the moment, and also we used to the females used to be at home, talking about what was going on in the world and helping them make decisions about what they was going to do for their land and country, and that's not the case now either.
Yeah.
So the involvement of the feminine, of the female principle, has not, it's totally gone out of our existence, and we need to bring that back in.
Would you say then that as we grow older and the society that we have these days, would you say that the media has an effect on the way that feminine energy is? The way they portray it?
The media? Yeah, absolutely. Of course the media has. The media has hands in a lot of things and that they portray things and what they want to believe in. This is just one of them.
Yeah. No, because you see a lot of like female pop stars or whatever in the media, like Nicki Minaj and Rihanna's one of them, where she'll be grabbing her crotch like as if she's got a penis.
And Jessie J.
And stuff like that. And I think
very overtly sexual actions, and there's a whole other thing that goes on behind the whole music feed, which I'm sure you guys know about. I don't have to educate you. At the end of the day, Nicki Minaj, she channels Roman Castello from back in the day, and that's who and he's a really evil deity, and when you see a lot of her videos and stuff, he's right in she's proper channeling. Her voice changes, is everything, and the stuff that they're portraying and of what they're trying to put out there. What I don't do is I don't give it no airplay. I don't look at it. I don't take it on. I don't talk about it, and thus by doing that, I bring it into my life. Not that it doesn't exist out there, but we're not going to be giving it any more power by keeping on talking about it. And yes, it exists, and we that it exists and it's out there, but I'm not giving it no airplay. I'm not giving it no power. I'm not giving it no life, especially not in my world.
Would you say that was because you've completely found your inner self and you're at peace with the divine feminine, that you're able to block all this out?
I wouldn't say that it was something that was specific to the divine feminine. I think more of just on a if you want to be controlled by the TV and by media and newspapers, what do? You sit there and you watch it. But if you want to come out of that, you stop watching it. So it's a matter of choice. I wouldn't even think it's a case of something that's specifically divine feminine. I think on your journey, whether you're tapping into your divine feminine energies or not, somewhere along the line you have to stop being scared of these principles that exist, and you have to overcome that and say that I'm stronger than that in my life, and this I am.
Of course. See, that's the best thing though. You need to acknowledge and educate yourself on what's happening in the world, but then also what you can do to counteract the evil that's going on in the world. So
that was part of the thing, is also counteract it by being the positive, bright, shining star that you are. You don't be it by continuing this conspiracy theory, negative propaganda that people want to buy into. You do that by empowering people, inspiring them, helping them to heal, and these kinds of things. This is how we counteract that kind of energy. That's what I've been doing anyway. I don't buy into it at all. And a lot of people come to me a lot of the time, what do you think about this, and what's your insight about that? And if you want to sit on YouTube, you'll find a million videos about something that will give you something back, and then you'll find a million videos that will tell you something to contradict what you've just seen. So if you've got weeks and months to sit on YouTube trying to decipher what is and what isn't, when you can just sit down in meditation and intuit what is, it's a lot more simple. And I think for about a good maybe 10 years now, or just under 10 years, I've stopped reading. I don't read books anymore. For a reference, for crystals, essential oils, or for healing, or for whatever it is that I do for herbs and stuff, because a book is just somebody else's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And just as they have an opinion, I also have an opinion. We all have opinions, and as much as their opinion can, they can help you along the way. After past 8-9 years, I haven't read a book cover to cover because there's nothing in it for me no more.
Okay.
It's just empty words from someone else's opinion, basically, and like you said, we all do have our opinions.
I get a lot of them sitting down and journaling and channeling the information that I channel. As opposed to getting it from somebody else's opinion, because I've got more trust in what I've got. So I have in some places as well, and all got that capability. It's not something that is just renowned to certain people, but it's how much it's in your left brain over your right brain. And your right will want to go and read, it will want to go and research, and all of these things. I went through a place where I was channeling information, intuiting all of this information. Then I'd go looking but I wanted to prove it, okay? So I would go looking, researching on the internet, Googling this, Googling that. Right brain action wanted to control all the time. It wanted to find the proof. It wanted all of the right brain stuff, and I had to let go of it. And sometimes what you know can't be proven because it's not out there. It's just what you know.
Yeah, it's what you understand. So elemental, it says here that you actually channel the elements and your ancestors from the 10th, 11th and 12th dimensions. Now I only read in all of my research and stuff, I've only really known about the 5th dimension, so
those dimensions exist in Orion. Basically it's got to do with the feline race, and it's got to do with the people. When I talk about original lion people, I'm talking about people like Ra, Tefnut, Geb, Shu. All of these people, they were all lions. Sekhmet, Baphet, they were all lions. They all come from this place. Avalon was specially crafted to basically define the female race. So the highest level of female ways of being is found on Avalon, and this is the energy that we're bringing in here at the moment now. So there are many dimensions. The dimensions, they go as high as you want them to go or as low as you want them to go. There's not. The 5th dimension is where we're going into as a planet at the moment, and as human beings, this is where we're ascending to at the moment, and part of the age of Aquarius and stuff. But there are many dimensions. Many.
Okay, so in terms of like channeling, like, is that, just explain a bit more about what that's like, what you do and stuff.
Okay, channeling for me, it may be journaling, or it may be when I'm actually working with a client. I'll get the information on the elements basically for healing and stuff, because part of my purpose is to remove negative elements from the earth and the people that there basically. But what I do is I call the elements in order to be able to do that. It's called, the traditional name now, it's called Shesmi, which is a type of Egyptian Reiki healing, which is where you call the elements and you channel the elements to remove whatever healing the person needs or whatever it is on the earth. So it's the process, it's a journey. It's not something which, how can I put it? I can't explain to you this is the routine or this is how you do it, because there's not two ways that it's done the same. But when I work with my clients on the phone, whatever they need, whether it's healing, whether it's it just gets done. They have an hour's call with me on the phone, whatever that's required, it just gets put into that call. There's a lot of people out there at the moment that are giving a lot of things different names, and we're going to do this and we'll do that. I'm not into the labels. Look, I'm a healer. I've got intuition. I will use it to my best abilities to help people, and that's what I'm about, really.
No, I totally get that, because sometimes, no, not even sometimes, when I'm doing, because I do Reiki healing, and like, it's like I don't even like, how it's quite Reiki can be quite orthodox, but sometimes something tells me do this instead. Yeah,
because you see, a lot of the time when we go to do things like Reiki, a lot of crystal healing, all of these kinds of things, whenever we do, or we're interested or we're passionate about kind of things, what it is that we are remembering somebody who we were in a past life, okay, or we are channeling one of our ancestors or the beings around us. So it's a case of we already know what this information is, but Westernized society has taught us, and yes, we need to go and get certificates in order that we can get insurance, but our soul already knows what we need to do because we've already done it. Yeah. So what I always say to people is that the best thing to do when you're working with your clients and when you're working with your chosen thing that you've decided to work with, you use your intuition. Yes, we go and get the education. We get shown that this is how you do it. I do it my way. You know, I'm doing a herbal practitioner's course, and when I've done it, I'm not going to do what they've told me to do. I'm going to Layla Africa's book, and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
But I just want to get the certificate for doing it, to be able to get the insurance, to be able to give people prescriptions.
Yeah.
So it's a case of just, you've got to adapt to you know within your own soul as being correct. And as long as you've got your certificate and able to practice, you're good to do whatever you want, really.
Yeah, of course. Oh, interesting. Oh, I think that's Sarah. I think Sarah's got the coughs going on.
Oh, water needed for somebody.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I've heard of Orion, but I've never heard of Avalon. Only in like, only in what's that? Wizard of Oz? Not Wizard of Oz. That thing. You know Merlin, Arthur and Merlin, that one.
Okay, they say there's two ways they say Alcyon or Avalon. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look on NASA will tell you that there's Lyria, which is right next to Orion, and then so Avalon's right there as well. It's on the NASA images and stuff. You can see it. It's there. You wouldn't have heard about it because people don't talk about it. And I've kind of like, you know what? This is my information. This is what I've channeled. This is what I know to be the truth, and this is what I'm putting out there, and this is what I know it to be. And funny enough, you know, I did get confirmation. In several terms, because I did come across that NASA information. Yeah, Avalon's there, and it's within Orion, and I started to add everything up, and everything came together, and I've got a whole formula now of what it actually really is.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so what? Just like for like people who are just sort of getting into this sort of information, especially like in terms of like divine feminine, what can they do, really? To start them off.
What can they
especially for like people who are new to this sort of information?
Okay, in order to, if you're not been doing any spiritual practices whatsoever, the best thing for you to do to start off with would be silent meditation. And when I say silent meditation, I'm talking about meditation where you put your mind and you focus on your breath, and you see what comes to you. You would do that maybe for about 15 minutes every day, and then you would journal straight after that to see what information or what insights you would get from that meditation, and you would do that continuously. And basically the journal, when you reflect on the journal, it will get you to see your own patterns of your own insights and your own signs, and how with you and what they're showing you and how they show you, whether it's they show you or whether it rains, or however they choose to talk to you, you'll be able to see the reflection in your journal if you're journaling about what's going on with you spiritually, and that will lead you down the road to entering in.
That's very true. Yeah, it's very true. Sorry,
that is the beginning. That's where it all starts. Don't think you can go and access the divine feminine just by
saying, yeah, I want to access the divine feminine.
You go back to your notes.
Yeah.
Through your journals.
Yeah.
Hello?
Sorry,
I think
I miss something?
Yeah, I think it just cut off then. Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah.
It's an interesting thing that you can write in a journal the things that you're thinking at that time, and then to go back and check it later on. In terms of tapping into your feminine energy, have you found that there's been problems sometimes, or when you've been doing what are they called? Oh, I think I've gone blank now.
What's it? The when you like in terms of
doing a reading on the phone.
Oh, when you're doing readings, yeah.
When I'm doing readings, do I find that I have problems with my feminine energy?
Yes. Do you resort by going back into your journals and reading in order for you to heal someone? Or?
No, when I'm doing readings on the phone, I don't use my journals at all. But my journals are for me personally. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. What question? Actually, asking me.
No, you've answered it correctly. It's me who's jumbled it up because I was coughing. My words have gone. Sorry.
Okay. Do you think I know this goes into it because I've been reading because I do read books because obviously.
Oh, stop that!
No.
I
I read books just especially in terms of health and everything. I like to reference those sort of books in terms of Queen Afua's Heal Thyself, Dr. Layla Africa's books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, the divine feminine, in Queen Afua's book, she always says that we need to embrace our wombs and everything. So, do you think
Well, pleasure of meeting Queen Afua. I've actually had a consultation with her. I came across Queen Afua about 10 years ago, and her information is very, very worthy. It does work. I healed myself with Queen Afua. I had fibroids, and I healed myself with her program, and I got rid of them, and her stuff really does work. I will promote Queen Afua until I die. In terms of what she's offering in the Sacred Woman book, no, I haven't done the 9 gateways. I haven't been through the 9 gateways. It's a very, very disciplined procedure, and for me, the 9 gateways, because when you do the 21-day fast that she asks you to do to get through the gateway, now if you get through that gateway, you've got to go back and do it again. So in effect, you can spend a whole year getting through a gateway because you've got an issue at that gateway. And at the same time, if you're in a relationship or because you're not supposed to be having sex and stuff whilst you're actually doing these detox and going through the gateways, your whole, your life may be falling apart, so to speak, on that level. Dealing with your Sacred Woman stuff. So it's a case of being in a space where you've got the time to take up the 9 gateways, but applying the principalities of what she does in terms of the healing and the womb health and the information that she gives, I'm with 100%.
Okay. Now, I haven't actually read the Sacred Woman book. I've been reading the Heal Thyself book. And but for me personally, I definitely believe that a lot of women need to also embrace that sort of their womb and their health.
Yeah, because you see what it is as well. All right, if I just explain. If we as women take the responsibility of healing ourselves, what we're actually doing, because of our connection with the earth, we are so connected to the earth. Okay, if we heal ourselves, and healing our wombs, healing our emotions, healing our mental ways of being, healing our. And if we also, when we are healing ourselves, use Mother Earth in terms of the herbs and the raw foods and the vegetables, the fruit stuff that she's got for us, we are also healing the earth. And what will end up happening is that we are going to anchor more light to the earth, which means that this planet and the people on it will ascend a lot quicker. If you can heal yourself, you're in effect healing 10 other people as well. That's what's happening. That is the responsibility on us as females.
It's a big responsibility.
It's difficult as we
sorry,
actually
Elemental,
think.
sorry, hold on 1 minute. I think it's just breaking up a little bit. Yeah, that's better.
Little things that we can do, it may just be, I'm not going to take sugar, or I'm not going to drink Coke anymore, or I'm going to stop eating red meat. It's one simple change, but it will affect a whole heap of things for you in your life. So it's a big responsibility. In small steps, we can make that change happen. And what also makes that change happen is awareness. Awareness can bring about a change. And, we make little steps. We're not talking about radically changing from going to be a full, meat eater one day to being totally vegan the next. We're talking about gradual changes and shifts amongst us. And it's a responsibility, but not one that we can't take, and not one that we weren't prepared for, and not one that we never came here to do. That is what we came here for.
Yes. Definitely.
Have you tried taking this divine feminine thing to schools and trying to educate young girls to celebrate their body and to love themselves as
well? I did do a couple of classes last year. I was teaching a group of young girls, but it was more along the Sacred Woman knowledge about their wombs, because what it is out there, they educate you at school level and stuff about sex on a physical level, but they're not educated about sex on a spiritual level. And I do believe, because I don't believe our young ladies are really that unintelligent. They are extremely intelligent. You give them facts about what it is, they will make the right decisions. Yeah, but if you're just giving them information, which is, oh look, to prevent you having sex, we want you to take these tablets or use these condoms or take the morning after. Whatever. If you tell them, look, spiritually, when you're having sex with a man, you're actually really cleansing him. And he's actually, you're cleansing him mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And they would think twice about making that decision. It's not a physical act anymore. And it's making the young ladies more in tune with that. But it's difficult to get into the schools because it's spirituality based, and they're not really into that kind of stuff, so to speak. Try to sell it to them on a holistical basis. And primary schools, kind of last year, primary schools where I was kind of targeting, and I had a group of girls for the back end of last year. I did about 6 sessions with them, but it's not something that I'm really pushing at the moment because it's difficult to get into that red tape of the schools and that whole system. It is absolutely a nightmare to get through it.
I think it's because they're afraid of the whole, like, it's when fear enslaves someone's mind, like I always say, it creates all this tension. I don't know what it is, I don't understand it, so therefore I just won't step and try and even understand it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. I mean, I was quite lucky because one of my friends is a head teacher at one of the schools in a really bad area. It was together for me, and I was able to go into the school and do what I was doing. But other than that, me getting into the local borough and going into all schools, it's not going to happen. The only how that it would happen if I set up something in a community centre and got people to come to me outside of those hours. But it's not really going to be happening, unfortunately, because that's how our society is structured with their curriculums and their red tapes, and we don't want that. We don't understand it. So your hands are left tied, really.
With you not reading books and things like that, I'm totally with you because I think that reading books is pointless. I would rather take knowledge from people who are older, people who are younger as well. To try and sit and read a book by an author, to me, is just pointless because sometimes, obviously, they give their own opinions and their own understanding of a certain topic. To me, it doesn't really make sense, and it just angers me. So, with books,
I mean, I did read. I'm not going to lie. In my early part of finding out, about who God was and all of this kind of stuff coming out of the religion and stuff like that in my 20s, I did spend a good 10-15 years reading until when I got to 30 I was like, yes, well, I'm not doing this no more and I don't want to do it, and I was turned off from it. And what I found out is that I didn't really need to, because any information I wanted to get I had access to.
Yeah, you've already got it. Yeah, it is about collating all this information from books until a certain age, and then when you tap into through meditation, through yoga and things like that, you learn that all the knowledge that you've got before that you've absorbed, you've kind of already had it in.
Everything within you, it's already there. We just have to remember and access that information. It's already there. It's not outside of us. A book can help us perhaps remember. A conversation with somebody can perhaps remember. And one of the craziest things that I've been experiencing since January is that through a lot of the guidance calls and stuff that I've been doing with people is that a lot of people seem to think that spirituality is reading a book, taking a course and going to a seminar. So, you might be taking a course on meditation, going to a seminar on meditation, reading a book on meditation, but you're not actually meditating. And it's just spirituality. People are confused about what it is. Spirituality is a way of being. It's not in a book. It's not in a course. It's not in a seminar. It's in the way that you live your life every day.
You know how a lot of people say deja vu when they remember something? Yeah. It is from a past memory, yeah. So they understand deja vu, but they don't understand spirituality, which is...
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Sorry. Elemental essence. Sorry, there's some weird things going on back here. I do apologise to the technical man. I don't know. A few questions I want to ask actually is like, in terms of like, you know what? I've totally lost the question. I don't know. Do you know this topic is it's a topic that really like, it really needs to be discussed, because I feel like we're not really tapping it into that divine feminine energy as much.
No, well, one of the things I'm going to be doing for anybody, I might as well actually say it now, for anybody who is interested, I am going to be starting a sacred woman circle for healing, for mentoring, for teaching. All about the divine feminine, because I need to heal the women, because that is the responsibility that I have, because it will help to heal the earth and so on and so forth. But the only requirement that I ask, I'm doing this free of charge, is that you're able to attend fortnightly meetings in London. That is the only requirement to be part of the circle. And basically what we'll be doing is meditations, workshops, and just teaching and sharing knowledge amongst our sisters. And I'm actually looking to do quite a unique place where there is a Black Madonna here in London. I'm just trying to speak to the local people to see if I can get to use their space there to get the classes done there every 2 weeks. So anybody who is interested and can come to London and be involved every 2 weeks, the door is open for you. Hit me up on Facebook, Soul page, wherever, and you can get involved, because this is the responsibility, and we have to start getting proactive about it and bring sisters together and educating them and healing each other and just doing what we're supposed to be doing, really.
Wow, brilliant. I think it's definitely like, I mean, we've a few of the ladies here in Leicester have been talking about starting a sister circle. Sorry, I've got my words twisted. A sister circle. So yeah, definitely. And then like, it'd be good if we start one here, and then we can contact you lot in London, and then hopefully
because
national
there's actually this lady contacted me through Facebook. There's a link is called goddessmeetup.com, and what they're asking people to do is to create a local sacred women's circle in your local community. You log onto the website, you just give the address details and the dates and the time, and then what you're basically doing is logging onto a bigger, which is international, So all of these women are going to be doing it in their local communities, in their local countries, and then we're going to all log on to a network at goddessmeetup.com, where everyone can see where your meetup is. If women are coming into your country from another country, they can come to your meeting, etc., etc., etc. And that's I'll be logging on to that as well, and that's where my meeting will be put up there as well. So if anybody's doing anything local, it would just be nice for us to globally link onto that, because it's all about the collective consciousness and spreading the light amongst us as well.
Brilliant. That's so brilliant. Do you have any more questions, Zara?
Pretty much answered a lot of questions that I wanted to ask in the first place as well, but you've given me an understanding of what divine feminine is, and now I can educate young girls about it, so thank you very much.
The other thing is, which is something that kind of helps people with the divine feminine, is there's several archetypes out there, okay? Your archetype may be Mary Magdalene, it might be Isis, it might be or Set, it might be, there's an archetype out there that you can resonate with, okay? It may be helpful for you to attach to that archetype, drawing that nature into your life. Okay, I've done on the Divine Feminine on the Rise page, there are several posts on there about, in the albums, about the archetypes and stuff that are available to us, the energy that's available to us through those archetypes if we wish to connect with that energy and set up altars, etc., etc. We can draw that energy more into our lives as well. So that's another way if you want to go deeper in, but the basic principles, don't go and start doing that if you're not meditating and you're not journaling.
Yes. Anyway, Elemental, we're just going to go to a short break, and hopefully we're going to try and switch back to s-ence Radio.
Okay.
We'll call you back in the next 10 minutes or so.
Cool, no problem.
All right.
Yeah,
then.
that's fine.
All right,
Cool. Thank you.
You got to make it better for the youths, them future, and we can't sit and go on like we used to say. Something kind of to make it better. Children are our future. To the world, to make it better. feel like a bad man, keep it to yourself. Don't bring it to Jamaica, keep it to yourself. We don't want that a jam rock, keep it to yourself. We can't take no more slackness. You can change the laws of man, but you can't change the laws of God. So if they're not mad enough, because they're glad. If you change, I must see mad, them mad. Somebody tell me what is happening. I don't want no fish in my eyes and dish to see my son become a father. My greatest wish. The situation kind of very ticklish, but everybody fed up from parish to parish. Yes, and to whom it may concern. I know that the way we want the tables return. As a citizen, we got a lot of concern. The truth is, I know that we want our children to feel learn. If you feel like a bad man, keep it to yourself. Don't bring it to Jamaica, keep it to yourself. We don't want that a jam rock, keep it to yourself. We can't take no more slackness. Hear this, you feel multiply and replenish the earth. And that's why the woman labor in a childbirth. Me no want to see me brother dress up in a no skirt. And my sister nothing make that actually for password. As a nation, no matter what we put that first. If we think I see a thing, it's a blessing that's a curse. Lightning and thunder, don't we make the cloud burst. And just the water from the sugar cane can quench the thirst. To whom it may concern. I know that the way we want the tables return. As a citizen, we got a lot of concern. The truth is, I know that we want the children them to learn. You feel like a bad man, keep it to yourself. Don't bring it to Jamaica, keep it to yourself. We don't want that a jam rock, keep it to yourself. We can't take no more slackness. You can change the laws of man, but you can't change the laws of God. So if they're not enough, because they're glad. If you change, I must see my them man. Somebody tell me what is happening. I don't want no fish in my eyes and dish to see my son become a father. My greatest wish. The situation kind of very ticklish, but everybody fed up from parish to parish. Yes, and to whom it may concern. I know that the way we want the tables return. As a citizen, we got a lot of concern. The truth is, I know that we want our children them to learn. If you feel like a bad man, keep it to yourself. Now bring it to Jamaica, keep it to yourself. We don't want that a jam rock, keep it to yourself. We can't take no more slackness. Hear this, you feel multiply and replenish the earth. And that's why the woman labor in a childbirth. Me no want to see me brother dress up in a no skirt. And my sister nothing make that actually for password. As a nation, no matter what we put God first. If we think I see a thing, it's a blessing, not a curse. Lightning and thunder, but we make the cloud burst. And just the water from the sugar cane can quench the thirst. To whom it may concern. I know that the way we want the tables return. As a citizen, we got a lot of concern. The truth is, I know that we want our children them to learn. You feel like a bad man, keep it to yourself. Don't bring it to Jamaica, keep it to yourself. We don't want that a jam rock, keep it to yourself. We can't take no more slackness. You can't change the laws of man, but you can't change the laws of God.
Just want to chill and let you party. Just rock. I know you probably don't like the way we love you. I think I'll stop. Just let our music move you.
I'm more than beats, I'm more than rhymes. Please, I'm not your everyday fine. JD's on the mission to shine and get some sunlight and get our ones right and keep our fam tight. That's why I grab mics and take control, y'all. Move souls like hoes on booty calls. So when duty calls, Tay know I'm ready. We get knife, no doubt, and all rock steady. Peep how my mind's heavy, my ideas rain. The pen pours and next week it's the same thing. Mental precipitation without the weather reports. A forecast to predict my thoughts. Found guilty in the presence of courts. We the best out. That's why I walk the state pile with my chest out. Peace to L. Smith, still holding me down. And Eddie K, my main man uptown. Cause it's on, nigga.
Just want to chill and let you party. Just rock. I know you probably don't like the way we love you. I think I'll stop. Just let our music move you. Just want to chill and let you party. Just rock. I know you probably don't
I'm just the average cat that go to work, freestyle and kick battle raps and damage any nigga fucking with my habitat. Me and Pooh connect like He-Man and Battle Cat at local spots where the chicken heads babble at, claiming they independent like Land Speed or Miramax. Pause if you feeling that, cause I'm still in fact on some Purple Rain shit. Jerome, where my mirror at? I want some pips and some asses wiggling in every latitude, longitude and meridian. Female citizens looking, laughing and giggling, tired of bullshit, so they come to us for deliverance. Don't fuck with the middlemen, I'm making the calls. Live and direct, love on your set with blatant applause. Never taking the fall, just had to get that shit straightened with y'all. I break bread and wanna make it with y'all, so here we go, y'all. Check it, with me now.
You party, just bounce, just rock. I know you probably don't like the way we move you. I think I'll stop, just let our music move you.
One thing I love about humanity is regardless of color, religion, race, is that we all exchange thoughts. It could be positive or negative. It's up to you what you want to intake. Yep. Okay, let's go. This goes out to my brothers and sisters. Don't let nobody twist ya. These verses are holy verses. People look at me as if they know me. Set yourself free, unleash the God in me. My emotions are always coasting like the ocean. In different motion, notion, creating the potion. Which will bring forth love, peace and unity. I put micro into phone and micro into scope. I go in and out of the cosmos. Take notice, people be like, who even wrote this? I read the inscriptions of the ancient Egyptians. It was quite deep, it made my brain freeze and heart skip a beat. Since then, I have been researching about ancient civilizations. Some people tell me life is the beginning and that is the end. That's according to you. That is the beginning and life is the end. Because you've got to comprehend with no bogus like hocus pocus. Don't believe a word that I say. Do your research, it's okay. Some might agree, others might disagree. It's their choice, obviously. This type of music will resonate with your soul and make you travel in black holes and discover things you don't know. Alright, let's go. No one can invade my throne. If anybody tries, they will get killed by drones. I tap into your phone and walk into your home. Everywhere I go becomes my zone. And no need to rap the streets, they rap it for me. On the quest, searching myself. Half of my body is heaven, the other half is hell. Not your head, from left to right, right to left. If you feel like dancing, go on until there is no energy left. Naji, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you ever met a brother that thinks he's a hero because of his ego? Next minute you feel negative. You always questioning why. Whenever he's near, you feel like you're about to die. Those brothers are not heroic, they're just egoic. It's a shame that they just don't notice. Yep. You feel the vibe. I know you're loving those rhymes. Yeah. Transformation is here.
Yes, hello people, we're back from that short break and we're discussing the divine feminine with elemental essence. Zara, you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, I am. I'm learning a lot. I've cleared my cough as well.
Okay, that's brilliant. So, do you feel like you've had some answers question for you?
Yes, she's answered the majority of the questions. I may have more questions though.
Yeah, more? Okay, let's call her in and see if you can ask any more. Interesting. It's an interesting topic because you do, when you start to dive into all these things, you start to realize that you know we are missing that divine, that feminine aspect in our life at the moment, especially with how everything is.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we're unaware of as well.
Hello, sister. You okay?
Yeah.
We're back.
Good.
Yeah. So, Zara, do you have any more questions for Elemental?
Yes, when she starts speaking.
Okay. Elemental, do you have anything more to say?
I've got lots to say, but it's like what we talk about really.
Well, we're talking about the divine feminine, so.
What else can I say about the divine feminine? Look, for anybody who's not aware of what that energy is, anybody who is not even come across that name before, not aware of that energy. Don't get frightened because you're not on the path. If you've got a desire to be in that place and it's resonating with you what it is all about, please do your own research, start your meditation, start your journaling, and take the path. Don't be overwhelmed hearing everything that you're hearing and thinking that it's too much, and I haven't, oh my gosh, why don't I know about this, and why have I not come across this, and am I missing out on something? No, this is open to everybody, males included. We can all access this energy, we can all get on this path, and we can all become the totality of our being, which is pure love.
Definitely. And yeah, because I think sometimes some people, they think, oh my gosh, I don't know anything. I don't know
some
this.
people, they think, they just think because they don't know that they shouldn't perhaps be involved in it, or it's too much for them to learn. Or look, I knew nothing about the divine feminine 7 months ago, absolutely nothing. Since then I've done my sacred initiation, found out all sorts of stuff about myself that I didn't even know existed, and I'm not going to lie, even now I have issues with that masculine part of me, not understanding that the left side has become more active right now. So the right side constantly wants to be doing and wants to complete the task and the list of things to do, when the left side just wants to meditate and go and be in nature. And I can be in a struggle all the time, fighting between these two people within me. One wants to be, oh my gosh, let me get all this list of stuff done and out of the way. The other part is just like, no, just relax, just meditate. Go and sit with your crystals, meditate, go to the park. And the other part's like, no, you've got 100 things that you need to do, you need to be doing that. So it is still a constant battle. It's going to take time. It's a long journey. It's a long process. We are relearning and re-educating ourselves back to who we truly are, and we have to let go of all of this stuff that's been put on us through society, through education, through media, through all of everything that's been impressed upon us. We have to let go of that, and it's going to be a process. And everybody is in a different space, not because your friend or your girlfriend or your sister or your brother or somebody may not be in the same place or understanding the journey that you're on. Everybody's soul is on a different timeline, in a different place. And it doesn't mean that they're not evolving and they're not growing. It's just everybody's in a different place and a different time doing their own thing. So sometimes don't get disheartened that others may not understand you, that you may not be able to connect to those around you about what's happening with you. This is quite normal as well. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that they don't understand you, or you're going crazy, or whatever it is that you might be feeling. This is not the case. You're just on your journey. Have faith in the path and to trust the universe and know that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, I mean, we have been so tapped into this negative masculine energy that when we do start to tap into this feminine energy, sometimes it has to get a bit chaotic before the balance comes.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, after my illusions got shattered last year, when it all kind of kicked off and I was introduced to the divine feminine and all the rest of it, I was like, for about 3 months, I was in a real bad place, because I wanted my 3D illusion to be so real. I didn't want to let go of it. I didn't want to accept all of this new stuff. I wanted, I was comfortable in the old, and I fought with myself, and I could truly, hand on heart, I probably only let go of some of my deepest fears and my third dimensional behaviours probably the back end of January is when I let go of a lot of them. But it's a process, and we've also got to learn to not judge ourselves. Perfection is something that we strive to be. The only thing that exists for perfection in its entirety is the creator. So we can strive to be perfect, but we need to just observe ourselves without judgment. It's fine wherever we're at, whatever we're doing, it's fine, it's okay, it's where we need to be, and trust that process of where you need to be and to be doing what you're doing. And you may go through processes of which I've been through. You shed skins, you shed friends, you shed people that you used to know, and you no longer know those people anymore, and you're just moving with your own energy, and you've got to trust that process.
Definitely.
It is about trusting trusting yourself, I think, more than anything, because a lot of people, they judge themselves. They, instead of trying to understand their inner self, they judge themselves as in, I can't do this, I can't do that, it's impossible, everything is hard. It's only because they tell themselves it's hard. Once you tell yourself anything, you can achieve anything. Anything's easy. You're telling yourself constantly. It's kind of like a mantra that you keep on saying to yourself, and then yes, everything will be easy. But everything is a journey. Everything is a road that you take.
Yes, definitely. And I suppose that everyone's got their own, like, they've got their own path and they've got their own time when they're meant to awaken.
Yeah, and that is the truth. And a lot of people think because, you know, the age of Aquarius dawned the back end of last year, that they all of a sudden everything was going to change and we was going to be in this new place. And no, that's not the case. First of all, we're dealing with the Gregorian calendar. So did it really happen in December or did it happen before? Yeah, and then also everybody's process of awakening, that whole process and the whole ascension thing can take between 5 and 7 years. And the other thing is that we also need to accept that some people, even our family members, you know, our partners, our children, they may not be ascending. They may be staying in third dimension realities because that is the journey of their soul at that moment. That is the evolution of their soul, and we need to accept that. Not everybody is going to be transitioning. So, and that's a bit hard to accept as well at the same time. So, you know, it is a process of not judging yourself, not judging others around you, because we compare a lot to people around us, and we say, oh, this person's doing this, or this person's doing that, and, you know, why I feel that I should be doing that, or it makes you feel inadequate sometimes on certain levels, that, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that, or I'm not doing this. As long as you trust in your process of what you're doing, and as long as you're keeping your basic principles of journaling and meditation, you know, you're on the path, you're doing what you need to do to get to where you need to do, because you're strengthening your connection with Source. Every time you meditate, every time you journal, you're getting your information that you need to get. And every time, you know, if you also write in your journal, if you know, things that you're finding difficult or challenging or whatever, you'll soon find certain times you'll put the pen to the paper and things will just start flowing out of you that you never really knew that were there. And you're also clearing yourself up at the same time and anything that's within you. You're letting it all out, and it will prove valid at a later date. And also with the journaling, sometimes something may happen, or you may get a sign or whatever, and you're just like, why did that happen? Why did I see this strange bird that I never usually see today? And, you know, why was that? And, you know, you'll write it in your journal, you'll make a note of it or whatever, and it may not have no relevance to you whatsoever at that time, but, you know, 2 or 3 weeks later, when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, that day that I saw that bird, and then look what happened the day after, and you'll start to note what your signs are and what the ancestors are trying to show you when you see certain things, and you'll see your own process of how they are working with you. And that is how I teach most people to connect with themselves and start getting in touch with their powers and their intuition, etc.
A lot of women, they would find it hard to try and find their divine feminine energy, and it's very hard to channel into it. And when they completely constantly compare themselves to celebs, like you were talking before about the media, it's very, very hard for one to think. One has to be in tune with themselves and nature in order for them to understand themselves anyway.
You see, the thing is if you're in that position where you're comparing yourself to the media and stuff, you still haven't come to a totality of accepting yourself and loving yourself and feeling that you are enough within your own levels of self-worth if you feel that you would need to compare yourself to somebody in the media. Which means that you're not fully owning who you are or even comfortable with who you are. So that's also part of the divine feminine journey, is clearing up all those kind of things, all those insecurities, all those devalues that we have on ourselves. It's honouring ourselves. A big part of the divine feminine is honouring yourself and your feelings. And getting back to your self-worth. And if you're journaling and meditating and your intuitions will become stronger and more heightened, what will happen is that you'll naturally say, like, you know, I'm not doing that because it doesn't feel right, and I don't want to do it, and I'm going to honour how I feel. And it may just be something really, really simple, like you may have an arrangement that you may need to go to or whatever, and that day you wake up, you just don't feel like it, you feel like having a duvet day and just watching loads of movies or whatever. It's important that you honour yourself, and don't go against what yourself is saying to you. I mean, don't become a hermit and spend your whole life inside, but you've got to give some room for yourself to speak to yourself, and to also honour that, and honour where you are, and honour your emotions, instead of living up to expectations and arrangements and all of these kind of things that we put on ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we've got a family arrangement, we've got to go. You might not feel like being around the family that day because you haven't got the best energy. And sometimes when you do go around them, you probably end up having an argument because you just weren't in it from you woke up in the morning. But you went anyway. You went against what you were feeling, and then it didn't turn out too well. But this is a big part of the divine feminine, is honouring how you're feeling and what you are resonating with at that moment. And as you honour yourself more and more and more, so you will become more in tune to your power as well.
Yeah. It's like they say as well, like we need to, all of us, men or women, we need to learn to love ourselves so that we can project that love onto others.
Yeah, because self-love is the basis of all love, right? And a lot of us, myself included, I will admit, self-love is an issue. We get distracted into other people's stuff. We keep ourselves occupied with work, with careers, with all of these things, just so we don't have to look at ourselves. So we don't have to see those places within us that need nurturing. We're so busy with everyone else and nurturing everybody else that we fail to look at what needs nurturing within us. What area needs clearing up within us? Do we need to sort out our diet? Are we feeling ill certain times about certain things? Do we need to look at a holistic approach to our life? Do we need to be bringing in some kind of spiritual exercise like yoga or something into our life? And these things is all about self-love and nurturing ourselves and putting that energy back into self, and honouring yourself.
Definitely. So honour ourselves and honour that divine feminine energy within us.
Love yourself.
And you will become so in line and in tune with things when you start honouring your divine feminine energy. And she's not controlling, she's not judgmental, she's really easy, she's really calm, she's really peaceful. And if you start to align with her more when she's talking to you and telling you don't do that, or don't go and do all that crazy masculine stuff and go and work at the gym for 6 hours every week and all the rest of it, it's not necessary. Not telling anybody to give up their gym regime, by the way, but it is a masculine action. Sorry ladies, but it is extremely masculine. Exercise is good for us, but we need to not go too far into that, because it's a very masculine form of exercise, and we are exercising different energies when we deal physical on that level. So we try to tap into more spiritual practices like yoga, qigong, tai chi, those kind of things for these ladies. Maybe some gentle swimming. Dancing is very good for us, especially womb dancing, ladies. Get those hips moving, get that kundalini energy rising up the spine, please. Get it all moving. Those things are really good, and sometimes just being at home, putting on your favourite clothes, putting the music on and just dancing around and just being a woman and being feminine.
Definitely.
Stop the gym membership, basically.
No, I definitely agree. Going to the gym is too angular. What was it? Who was it? Who were we talking about it with the other day? Whereas like men are more like their lines, their angles, and women are more curves and stuff. That's why we. So going to the gym is like basically just angles. And it's not really,
we're exercising a different type of energy when we connect with that energy of a physical exercise and go into the gym and stuff. We can exercise, but it doesn't need to be that vigorous. If we were to run down a road and walk down a road, we're going to burn exactly the same calories. But Queen Afua teaches that when you're running, you're not supposed to, as a woman, you're not supposed to run, because basically it's doing something to the eggs in your ovaries. stuff. And that pounding, that constant pounding of running on the pavement is sending shockwaves up your legs into your womb, and it's not good for us. And she doesn't promote it whatsoever, these kinds of exercise. So you see, we have to kind of really nurture into and lock down those masculine sides of us that want to be doing these things, and realizing that it's not really that necessary, that there are other ways to obtain the same results, which are a bit softer, a bit more feminine, and a little bit easier as well.
It's easier though to let out anger and punch a wall, or kick a wall or whatever, than to just sit and meditate and calm down. And thanks to these three people here, they've taught me that yoga's helped me meditate a lot. I've found that I'm a lot calmer now because of it. And I think constantly one needs to surround themselves with people who have sort of the same energy levels as them, because I've had to relearn and I've had to re-strip a lot from my mind and try to re-find myself again. And even on International Women's Day, when we celebrated women and their achievements and things like that, and the people that, like Raven, the people that we met that was on the show the other day, they're amazing people. What more can I say? Even you yourself. So
thank you.
I think Elemental, you can agree, is that you attract what you want in your life, basically.
Yeah.
No, that is absolutely that. I totally agree with that. What you want in your life is you attract that to you by the frequency that you're on, by the thoughts that you put out there, by what you're saying and what you're doing every day is what you're going to bring into your world, basically. And as you tap in more to your divine powers in nature, the manifestation becomes so much more quicker and so much more easier. You really have to think about what you're saying and what you were doing. I mean, pre all of this, my manifestation was quite quick, and I would have to watch myself times around new moon and full moon, because I would be really tapping into how I've got to be so precautious not to be putting anything negative out there. Even when I'm feeling negative, I've just got to counteract positivity, because the manifestation of that will happen so much faster now because of the energy that universally that we're involved in as well now, with the ascension as well. So we have to be very, very, and everything does start first of all obviously with thought.
Yes, thoughts can
Positive
be wrong.
thoughts, because your thoughts become your actions, don't they?
That's right. Everything is first begun in the mind with a thought, and then it will manifest into something else. So you even have to be careful not to be thinking wrong things. I mean, one of the things I actually advise my clients to do is to every day keep active workshop, which basically is about spending like a few moments in each area of your life doing what I call creative visualization meditation, where you go into, say for instance, go into your career and you visualize yourself in the job or in the business or whatever it is that you want to be doing. You visualize that to the point where you actually feel yourself being in that environment, wearing those clothes, touching that furniture, having that vision. You spend a few minutes. You would go and do exactly the same, maybe in your relationship area. Maybe you would go and do the same to do with the place where you want to live. And if you continuously do this every day, spend a few minutes in exactly the same spots in the same places. I say I do it every day, probably about 15 minutes. You are going to bring into your life what you want. There is no doubt about it. But you've also, as well as the law of doing those creative visualization meditations, you've also got to have what is called the law of expectation. You can put out there and you can manifest and you can focus your energy on things all the time, but if you don't expect to receive that, you will never receive it. So you will be counteracting your positive focus and counteracting your positive affirmations and manifestations that you're putting out there, because you're not actually expecting it to manifest. So you might say, oh my gosh, I want to go and live on a luxury yacht and whatever, do you know what I mean? I want to have 5 bedrooms, I want to be living in the middle of the sea. But then in the back of your head you'll be like, oh, that's so stupid, that's never going to happen. So your law of expectancy is counteracting what you're trying to manifest in the physical, by you're not actually expecting that to happen, because even though you're manifesting it, you have a doubt about whether that is a possibility. And you need to eliminate all those doubts. They need to go, because you need to know that it will happen. And when you believe that it will happen without any doubt, that's when your manifestation will start to work really quickly for you.
Thank you. Wow.
Awesome. Right.
Oh, Brother Harry, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah. After being in the background trying to sort out the technical stuff, unsuccessfully. Right. Well, we've come to the top of the hour. I'm a bit cautious about the time because we've still got s-ence Radio going on the other side, on the other link, and then we've got Mr. Lee coming on to play some reggae music at 9 o'clock. So we're going to have to close the show very shortly. But I mean, we want Soul Guidance on again in a couple of weeks if possible.
Definitely.
Elemental.
Yes, absolutely.
Please.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed myself.
And we really apologise for the technical mess ups and the fact that we couldn't go on s-ence tonight. Really sorry about that.
No, that's fine. It's
But anyway, this show will be recorded, but we'll share that at the end of the show. But Elemental, I just want to say thank you. You've given us a good, you've answered some questions actually that I didn't even need to ask today. So thank you.
Yeah, you've educated me as well, so thank you again.
No problem, babe. Anything that you want to know, any more information, I'm willing to share. Knowledge is power. So anything you want to know, there's 2 pages. I've got Divine Feminine on the Rise, which is solely about the Divine Feminine, and I've got my Soul Guidance page, which is about spirituality and teachings and empowerment and energy readings and stuff. So those things are there, and I'm here if anybody wants any information. Like I said, I'm setting up those sacred circles, so any females that want to be part of that can come to London and commit themselves to being available twice a month for meetings. Please do contact me. We're going to do this. We're going to heal ourselves and we're going to heal the planet.
Exactly.
We can.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, Elemental. We'll
no problem. Thank you.
No doubt. Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely catch up off air. Thank you, Elemental.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye. What's up?
Bye.
Oh.
Nice one. I like it, man.
That's still up there. Brilliant. Thank you. That was Elemental s-ence talking about the Divine Feminine from Soul Guidance. And Zara, did you get some
I did.
Questions answered even.
Answered questions. Yeah, she answered all my questions without me asking any questions. So yeah, she did.
Okay, brilliant. So we'll take a short break and then come back to say see ya.
I'm just giving you something to roll to, something to groove with, something to think about. Yeah. I'm just giving you something to roll to, something to groove with, something to think about. Yeah. Some people go through life trying to get it right, but in the midst of living, they seem to lose a part.
s-ence Radio. This is Yes Alexander.
So.
Yes, welcome back. Yes, we had Soul Guidance, Elemental s-ence on the show this evening, talking about the divine feminine, which is a very intriguing, insightful discussion. And we'll be having her back on the show soon, very soon, because of the technical difficulties which we faced here this evening. Zara and those in blue, do you have any final words to say before we depart?
Zara?
Do I have final words? I've always got words to say.
No, no, yeah, that's right.
Thank you for listening again, I guess, and I shall see you when I see you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, okay.
No problem. I just want to say thank you to Elemental s-ence for coming on the show and dropping some knowledge. That's what it's about. But I just want to share some links, that's all. So if you want to catch this show and previous shows, go on youtube.com/Innervibe show. INNERVIBESHOW. And then for previous shows, because we're still in the process of moving our old shows to our new channel, it's Skidan for Real, SKIDAN 4 REAL. So yes, and also visit our website, people. It's in the banner if you're looking. It's www.skem.com, SEEMM.com. Yes, we got a banner for the show. But all I want to say is peace, namaste, salam alaikum, hotep.
Okay, thank you all for tuning in, and once again thank you Us in Blue and Zara and Elemental s-ence for coming on the show. On Sunday we have 7 Bomb Hour.
Woo! That's going to be a big show again.
Yes, so get your questions so we can answer
Oh,
them.
is it the Q&A show?
I think we'll have more based on the Q&A.
Alright, yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
So we'll just play it by ear anyway, see what happens, just go with the flow as usual.
Yes, as we do.
As we do up in here, no doubt. And thank you once again for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you on Sunday.
In the name of the most gracious, most merciful, let her ask in faith, nothing doubting, for she that doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed, everything in this world cursed and lost in our forgetfulness. Why do we choose to ignore the obvious and wish for places far too distant? If we could awaken, we would truly listen to melodies, they are so divine. Witness life bloom in colors not apparent to our earthly eyes. All the joys connected to our earthly lives are but a glimpse to what awaits. So this time I say I'm finally given. Rewind, relove for the sake of fully living and the desperate hope of fully dying in a pure state. My only desire but to forgive and stay. My only hope that you would do the same. Our only mercy that the most gracious would remember our name. And with this change we begin this gracious dance, this wholesome trance. Foundation so solid nothing shakes or bothers what's rooted so deeply. We witness these mercies rescue us. We remember the best of guides is God